I'd like to start by thanking the Kokodan. I took many of the clips you're about to see of different judo throws from their YouTube channel, and they've been doing amazing things for some time. Now I say that we just get right into it. Sasae Tsurikomni Ashi. Now, I like to think of this throw as a foot block, and I will tell you what I mean by that. Being a foot block means that it is not a foot sweep. A foot sweep would look something like this, where the practitioner takes his opponent's foot clean off of the floor, and that's what gets the takedown. This is what we'd refer to as a Deashi Barai, or foot sweep. A foot block is different, as you're about to see here, as it creates a force that makes the opponent want to step, but your foot blocks him from being able to take that step, as you are seeing right here. Without being able to take that step to regain his balance, this guy is gonna go flying through the air. Now with this one, almost always, it is by creating a rotational force that we're gonna cause this person to step. So watch Jones here. He's gonna pull down with that left underhook, and he's gonna step to 45 degrees with that right leg. These combined actions are what create the rotational force we're looking for. Look at just how much John is able to rotate that guy. Really wrenches him in a circle. Now, as you can tell, Jones has his man off balance, and it's gonna be that right leg that needs to step if this guy's gonna regain his balance. But if you watch the left leg of John Jones, we're gonna see how Jones blocks this guy's step with his foot. You can't see Jones's foot too good in this shot, but if we keep it going, you'll see there's the block right there. And without being able to take that step, this guy is going for a ride. Let's check out a different instance with a different angle. You notice Bonner's really pushing into Jones here, which is great because that's going to make this extra judo-y. Jones is going to redirect that force into a turning motion like you're about to see here. This one's pretty crazy, but notice the block that Bones has put in front of Bonner's foot, causing Bonner to be unable to step and go flying over the top. Here we have another instance. Notice the rotational force applied by Jones and that foot blocking Rampage's foot. These actions together caused Rampage to be unable to step. Didn't get the takedown there, but a very dramatic off balance. Here we see again, blocking after applying this rotational force. Throws him right to the ground. He does this throw a fair amount actually hit it on Daniel Cormier. So he's hit it on an Olympian before, which is a pretty amazing thing to be able to say. Harai Goshi is technically a hip throw where you step outside both of your opponent's legs, like you're about to see here. A beautiful hip throw sweeping both the legs. Notice the legs stepped outside both the opponent's legs. By getting the timing and the positioning of that sweep right, you send them flying through the air. Now in judo, of course, they're grabbing the gi. Something you obviously can't do in MMA or Greco, so when they go for the throw in these two arts, typically you see it off of a strong overhook like you're seeing here. John's gonna push that overhook down and wrench on the shoulder of Bonner in order to help force this takedown. Now pay attention to Jones's left leg here. He's going to use that as the sweeping leg. Those long legs, Jones is going to step outside both of Bonner's legs here in order to take control of his center of gravity. So check this out here. He's going to step right across right here. What's interesting about this throw is it is both a hip throw, or it could even be considered a trip or sweep. Here he's kind of tripping Bonner because Bonner's not going to be able to step. But if we revisit our judo friends from earlier, you can see here that he's actually sweeping both the legs off the ground. So two ways the foot works here. So back to John, we can see John tripping Bonner, and he's really going to start cranking down on that overhook. These two elements are combined with an element of a hip throw. Notice John's hip is underneath Bonner's, and that helps him get underneath his center of gravity. The trip, the overhook, and the hip all work together to take Bonner soaring through the skies. Let's watch that all play out again here. We've got the overhook position for John. One thing I didn't notice is he's cupping Bonner's tricep. That's going to be helpful, and Bonner's not going to be able to post on the mat as he goes down. John steps over with that left leg, stepping over both of Bonner's legs, keeping a strong overhook, and now he's going to take him right over the top with that hip. Next, we'll take a look at Uchi Mata, translated to the inner reaping thigh throw. In wrestling circles, they call this one a whizzer kick. I've always sort of thought of this one as a cousin of the last throw, in that basically everything's the same, except instead of both the legs, you're going to step in between the opponent's legs and then kick up. It's going to cause one of your opponent's legs to shoot up way in the air, and the rest of them is going to rotate over your hip for one of my favorite throws. Let's revisit Johnny Jones. This is in the fight with Brandon Vera. Watch this. This is just so darn pretty. John's going to start the action off with a low kick. And what that low kick is going to do is open up Vera's stance so wide that it's going to give John the entry he needs for the clinch. So watch that left leg and how it opens up wide. That trick of messing with Vera's base is going to give John the opportunity for the clinch. The clinch has been engaged. Now pay attention to Jones' left leg there. That is the leg that he's going to kick in between Vera's legs. Notice one leg is up, one leg is on the ground for Vera, and then Jones continues the rotation for an Uchi Mata throw. Next, we'll be examining Osota Gari, translated into major outer reap.
Jones likes the throws. Nice trip.
Fun fact, this is the first throw I ever learned. You have to really think of reaping, and what that means is you can't be nice about it. You've got to really go for it. If you watch this guy's leg, he's going to swing out and then slap really hard force on that supporting leg. Watch Jones here. He's going to wrap his left leg around the outside of his opponent's left leg. See how that left leg is wrapped around? Not going to be nice about it. He's going to really reap that leg back. Remember, this is major outer reap. And there you have it, my friends. Osota Gari, or the major outer reap. The next throw we'll be discussing is Soto Gake. Now in Japanese, the way they say it in Judo, this translates to minor outside hook. It is this hooking motion of the leg coming around and then pulling that leg off the floor just long enough so that the user can complete the throw without the defendant posting on the ground with that leg. Now John is going to go for Soto Gake off of grabbing Glover's kick here. So watch. The thing John is going to do is grab the back of Glover's head. That's going to allow John a leverage point with which he can use to pull himself closer to his opponent to hit Soto Gake. With that established, Jones is going to step his right leg up closer to Glover. Watch. Now Jones is primed to toss this guy for two reasons. One, he's pulled in close his hip to Glover's hip. That's crucial in any throw. And two, because he's got Glover hopping in the air, his hip is way underneath Glover's hip, allowing him to easily take his center of gravity. And Johnny Bones gets the throw once again. Variation 2 of Soto Gake from our friend John Jones. For this one, Jones establishes some kind of a head and arm control here. He's got Shogun by the head and the arm in a strong grip. Now he's in a position in order to get that hook going because his hips are already so close to Shogun. Next, let's take a look at Uki Waza, also known as the lateral drop. With this one, you gotta get the opponent pushing on you. In fact, you have to get him confident with pushing on you. It is this confidence that will be his downfall. That's just not an expression, we use that literally here. While your opponent's pushing, all of a sudden you fall on your back. As a result, your opponent falls forward as well, surprisingly so. Definitely wasn't expecting that. As he's falling over the top of you, you're going to take him over slightly to the side of you. And that slight to the side is where the name lateral drop comes in. Now going back over here to the GOAT, John Jones is in a situation where Stephan Bonner is about to get double underhooks on him. Double underhooks is typically a very dominant position. You're usually safe pushing forwards. And that's why Bonner is going to push forward and be confident in doing so. The ultimate recipe to get lat dropped. Now watch as Bonner begins the forward push. While Bonner was pushing, however, Jones was able to establish a double wizard. A great grip for lat dropping, and bang! Let's take a look at that again. Stefan's going forward, and John takes him over the top and slightly to the side. Well, I guess that might be more than slightly to the side, but point still stands. Jones hits the lat drop. Morote Gari, or double leg takedown. There is a big difference between one in judo and one in wrestling because of the rules. Now in judo, you are not allowed to drop down to a knee for a throw, so you have to do a double leg takedown with your knee up, like you see this guy here. From there, we are going to pull out the man's legs for the takedown. So something like this is kosher in judo. Notice how on this double leg, Jones' knee is never going to touch the ground. Until, of course, the takedown is completed. In folk style wrestling, however, you are allowed to drop down to a knee. And that dropping down to a knee makes it so you can shoot from way far away, as you're about to see here. And you've placed yourself underneath your opponent's center of gravity, making it more likely that you'll take him down. Getting underneath someone's center of gravity is a key aspect in completing a takedown. And what's scary about Jones is he's good at dropping to a knee. He's good at not dropping to a knee, as we've seen already. And he's good at switching between the two. This is especially true when the cage gets involved, so pay attention to the following sequence here. Jones is going to shoot in using the more wrestling style drop to the knee, but once he's got Dom on the cage, then he's going to switch to the more judo Morote Gari version of it. Ouchi Gari, or the large inner reap, is, in my opinion, a very difficult throw to perform. Maybe I'm just bad at them. It involves hooking around the inside of your opponent's leg and getting the throw, like so, but your foot never lifts up too high, and you never really drop down to your knee, like you would with Ouchi Gake. You have to be extremely precise in order to hit the throw this way. This is much easier if you already start the throw with control of your opponent's leg. So as we're seeing here, John Jones shoots it on the double. Pay attention to Jones's left leg here. He's gonna Ouchi Gari this guy's supporting leg here. Jones is gonna step in and he's gonna sweep the opponent's leg. That's gonna really knock this guy off balance. And then Jones is gonna use that off balance to put him down. So Ouchi combined with leg control. Ouchi Gake, or the major inner hook. This is usually referred to as an inside trip in wrestling. The channel I got this from is Efficient Judo. Great judo channel. Go subscribe. Different than Soto Gake, which comes from the outside of the opponent's leg. Ouchi Gake establishes the hook by threading in between your opponent's legs. He's gonna step in between of his opponent's legs. With that in place, he's now gonna drive his opponent over to the side in which the hook is hooking. And that is gonna allow him to get the takedown. Now let's see John hit Ouchi Gake. Notice John's gonna start off by establishing this beautiful front headlock. Now, if you watch Jones' back leg, his left leg, what he's gonna do is step that in between Rampage's legs. He's established his hook by threading the hook through the inside, and he's dropping down to that knee in order to complete this takedown. Off the front headlock, beautiful. One thing I really like about Jones is he'll mix Ouchi Gake with Morote Gari for a nice, awesome combination. Watch that left leg of Jones. He's gonna thread it in between Vera's legs to begin Ouchi Gake. Notice the hook that Jones has established by threading to the inside. He's now gonna give Vera a good push, and Vera's gonna lose his balance, stumbling over that hook. As Vera's stumbling over the hook, that's when Jones takes his chance to enter Morote Gari. And remember, we're calling this Morote Gari because the knee is not touching the floor. And now we get the takedown. Kibisu Gaeshi, or the single leg takedown. In judo, you typically see this when one practitioner grabs another by one leg, and then the combination of pulling that leg up and pulling down on the gi sleeve results in the takedown. One thing to know, a big part of this move is pulling that gi sleeve down. By pulling down on something with no base, right, his leg is up, you get a nice takedown. Now in MMA, you can't grab the gi sleeve, so you gotta get that downward pressure somewhere else. Let's take a look at this. Jones starts in a double leg. And what he's gonna do is switch over to a single leg. So he's gonna go around one of Chael's legs, and then he's gonna, instead of grabbing the gi, drape his arm over on top of Chael's shoulder. That is where he's gonna get the downward pressure to put the guy down. So John puts the pressure down with that arm, and down goes Chael. Let's take another look. John starts with a double leg shooting in on Gustafsson. And what he's gonna do is quickly decide, I'm gonna switch this to a single leg. So he's gonna grip around that one leg with the right hand while he throws his left arm over the shoulder of Gustafsson and applies downward pressure with that in order to get the takedown. Different angle. Here, John Jones shoots in. He's gonna start with that double leg, dropping that knee like a wrestler. Now from here is when he's gonna decide, I'm gonna switch to the single. He's gonna keep his right arm around the guy's leg while he throws the left arm over Gustafsson's shoulder. That left arm is where we're getting the downward pressure from, and there's the takedown. And finally, the one you've all been waiting for, Ura Nage, also known as the suplex. Now I have heard this one be called Judo's biggest throw. From standing back control, you're gonna lift this man up and blast him backwards, hopefully breaking his neck or something, and hopefully not breaking yours in the process. Back to our friend Jones. He has that standing back control on Bonner, and Bonner wants so desperately to get away. But Jones gets his hips underneath Bonner. He maintains that rear body lock, and now he's gonna give Bonner some frequent flyer miles here. Ura Nage or the suplex.